Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Laurel Park for Today at the Races. Saturday, December 30th, our last Saturday card of the year here at lovely Laurel Park. Great card on tap. 9 live races, 2 stakes. We've got the 2-year-olds again in the Hef Stakes and the Gin Talking at 7 furlongs. I'm Keith Fustel. Glad to be joined by Dan Illman. The man comes in from the Daily Racing Forum to join us. I think we had the 2-year-olds in the spotlight last time you were here.
Yeah, we served for the 2-year-olds last time. A lot of exciting things going on as we race towards 2024. Not only some very promising 2-year-olds in the Gin Talking and the Heft later today, but we've also got a race for the trainer's title, not only for the meet, but for the entire year here in Maryland. Jamie Ness and Brittany Russell is going to come down to the last 2 days.
Going to come down the wire. We were talking about that. Brittany holds a slight lead.
Slight lead in the year title. I think Jamie's got a 1 race lead in the meet title.
In the meet title. And a winner yesterday. And let's talk about that winner real quick. I mean, we love the 2-year-olds moving to the 3-year-olds here in just a couple days. But Hart yesterday, ultra impressive in debut.
Super impressive because we were talking about it before we came on, and the horse that ran second, Miguel Vera, first-time starter, that horse took money. Toledo jumped on that horse. That horse looked very strong on the lead. Hart, though, was just moving so sweetly outside of that horse, and when produced, blew by.
Love the way that Russell trainee went through the wire. Final time, I believe it was 12 flat, only a second off of Rominski, if I'm not mistaken, right?
72 buyer speed figure, very strong for a 2-year-old. Something tells me we'll see Hart in Stakes Company sooner rather than later.
I had mentioned on the show about a breeding. I thought she might just need that race. Looked like she was going to stretch out looking at that bottom side. Didn't need it at all. I definitely think she's going to stretch out in the future. So let's take a look outside real quick. Take a look at our weather conditions. A little cloudy out there today, a little chill in the air. 41 right now. Main track is fast. I thought the track played a little bit quirky yesterday. Later in the card, I thought you wanted to be closer to the rail. But let's get right at it. 9 races. We're going to kick you off here in the opener. Early pick 5, so take note of that. Great wager here with that low 12% takeout, so jump in on the early pick 5 if you can. We're going to have a scratch in here, the 2 Ginger Girl for the fillies going 3/4, claiming 25 down to 20. You can be a multiple winner, more than 3, if you are a 3-year-old.
And we have Genie and a Bridle in here as the lone 4-time winner. That horse is going to take some money in here for trainer Jerry Robb. May not have liked the slop in the last 2 races, won her last 3 on fast ground. I'm going to go with Lavisa in here, the 7, however. Lavisa aimed a little high last time out in that first level allowance race. It was a race that was won by a horse anonymously who came back to win her 4th consecutive race when taking a second level allowance with a 71 buyer speed figure. Lavisa broke from the far outside, was prompting 4 wide. It was just a little too much from a trip standpoint and a class standpoint. She has won her last 2 dirt sprints, went in for a tag, and Ricky Silliman, one of the more reliable trainers on the grounds.
Do you expect, that tracking trip again? There's definitely some speed, some sharp speed to the inside of her. You're looking at possibly the 1 to go, but to set the 3 horses got a pretty good turn of foot. My top selection, Tritone Girl. She's in very good form right now. I'm hoping she gets a rating trip from just off. What do you think about Lavisa's trip in here?
Well, I think that Lavisa is going to be sitting 2nd or 3rd. I think that Toussaint's going to go to the lead. The key to the race from a pace standpoint is the cut back, the 8 Goldiness, because she was part of a very fast pace last time out, going a 1-turn mile. Never got a breather through a 2nd quarter in 23.33 seconds and was still there. She has shown the ability to rate from off the pace. I think she'll be 2nd and 3rd stalking outside. As for your top pick, Tritone Gal, I mean, she'd been knocking on the door. She finally broke it down. Now she has to handle the step up in class. But as you said, very sharp form.
Yeah, I think she can sit that inside-out trip that I like to talk about so much. Dan, 7-4-8-5 to get you started. Genie Bridal, I think, is going to take plenty of play. I think she's going to like the flow in front of her as well. What is she, a 4-time winner and getting back to a fast track and going down to the claimer out of that allowance race there. So I like the 4 a little bit on top. I mean, there's some early play we see, but I think she'll be an okay value play in the first. Second leg, going to go to the early pick 4. Second part of that early daily double. I got a pick 4 ticket for you, $24. We caught one yesterday with that middle pick 4. Thought it would pay a little bit, but some shorter prices to end it. Get you started here 2 deep in race number 2. Lucky Lorraine, the 7, the 9, Happy Union, 3 deep in the 3rd with the 3, 6, and 7. Dan and I, we're going to talk about That's My Pharaoh for Rob. Race 4, I spread a little bit further in here. I think it's highly competitive. Scratch the 1, the 6, and the 8 out of race 4. I go 3, 4, 5, 9. Wrap it up with a 2 spot there with you in race 5 with the 1 and the 4. If you could toss anybody else in, maybe in the dance, the other Rob runner. $24 for the early pick for it. Dan, you're looking at Happy Union. We've got a video of her last effort here at Laurel Park on the 16th of December.
Happy Union breaks about 2 lengths slow, but this is what happens when you have a quality jockey in Victor Carrasco who realizes there's a lot of pace in this race, there's a long way to go, I still can make something happen. And Victor gave Happy Union a beautiful trip and ride after that. Saved all the ground, got to the 2 path, finds the split, Happy Union does the rest. Now, you're always wondering when you see a horse win like this at 17-1, was that the time to have Happy Union?
Right.
She's going to be a much shorter price here, but I think she's very well entered for a barn that's 8 for the last 17 with last out winners on dirt. And that's Antonio Machado, a guy that maybe doesn't attract that much attention, but Happy Union's going to take more money, and she is always at the mercy of pace.
Like the way she ran through the wire there as well, and a great rating job by Carrasco, able to save ground and get that finish. And she's run her better races. That might have been a good thing, getting off a little bit slow. Her last win, I think, also was from a little bit further back. Happy Union, definitely one to use. You're also going to toss in High Heeled Warrior coming in here for from Penn National for Brandon Culp.
And Brandon Culp's another trainer I think you always have to keep an eye on when he ships into Laurel. He's 4 for his last 10 here at Laurel with a $3.44 ROI. Now, the concern for High Heeled Warrior is this horse was an impressive winner last time out and then was laid up for about 3 months. But I liked what he did in that race. There was the sharp odds-on winner on the lead that day. High Heeled Warrior collared that horse and went right on by. He's lightly raced. I think we can project a little bit of upside for her.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As far as had some luck in Maryland in the past, not so much the last couple of years. The turfer that he's had is come in. The vet.
Boats are rocking, right?
That's it. Yeah. That's right. Boats are rocking has done quite well over this turf course. I'm going to use Lucky Lorraine in here. You've got her third. I actually talked to Mary up a little bit this morning. I thought she's got a good shot in here.
I think one of the key angles for her is getting back out to a mile. She has one going sprinter route in the past, and I just think in her last race, going 7/8 of a mile, she was in against tougher competition. It was an open $8,000 claiming event. She is now double dropping into this condition nickel. She have that angle. You also have the stretch out angle, and she's going to get pace to run at, and she'll be a price.
Yeah, I think she keys up against Matula 4 races back, a horse that galloped here recently. I'll toss in Illusion of Hope as maybe an okay price, stretching stretching out to the mile. I'm going to try for the first time. I thought she laid in good position last time. Kind of against the grain of the racetrack, maybe. Just didn't fire through.
I think you made a point, though, there that the track that day I thought was playing inside speed. Illusion of Hope tried to rally from mid-pack, had to go to the outside, and all in all did very well to finish third. So I think you can upgrade her a little bit, and you're going to need to because she needs a bit of a buyer boost. The mile, as you mentioned, is a question mark.
That's a question. I think she'll get position. Chalk Hill is a horse coming from further back at a big number, 20-1. Don't leave that one out of your exactas, tries, and supers. Dan's got that one in there, 4th in race number 2. Let's go to the 3rd race, maiden special weight. 2-year-olds going 6 furlongs.
Yeah, that's my Pharaoh, the number 3. We're going with her. I thought I was getting cute, Keith. You picked her right on top, so maybe we've got something for this son of American Pharaoh. Switching from turf to dirt and route to sprint. And you don't need us to tell us, friends, that Jerry Robb does great with these kind of horses. You can just look at your DRF trainer stats. But when you combine them, route to sprint, turf to dirt, 3 for the last 10, 338 ROI, and this horse has a little bit of dirt pedigree. The dam was stakes placed going a mile on dirt. The second dam was a 2-year-old stakes placed dirt router, and this is the family of Giant Oak who won the Don and the Clark. So there's plenty of dirt in this pedigree. I wonder if it's more geared toward distance, but this guy just got cooked on a very fast pace going 2 turns on turf last time.
Paid a nice price, $150 for this one over at the Big T, the Fasig tipped and sale, and just glancing at the race, the horses that have run not a ton of speed, maybe El Divino Nino, but chased that fast pace on the turf last time. maybe it's all systems go towards the inside for the 3. That's my Pharaoh at a price. Work hard. You got another note on that?
We got work hard we can
Yeah.
talk about, but I think we got to talk about Enzo, right?
Yeah,
we got
let's
a
talk
video
about Enzo.
spotlight for
Yeah, let's
Enzo.
go.
And
Okay.
Enzo, of course, has that big pedigree, right? Being a half to Caravel and a full to Whitty. And like Whitty, he doesn't break very well. He's a big, giant 2-year-old, just like his brother Whitty. This break costs Enzo, and Enzo then has to be trying to rally into a race where it's so difficult for young horses to do. He's very green. It takes him a long time to change leads once he switches into the stretch, but he comes with a good, determined rally to finish second. Enzo's in behind horses here and steadied. You can see he's throwing his head around. It's just not a comfortable position. My concern is he so green that he's going to miss the break again going 6 and be left with too much to do? But there's no doubt about it. With his pedigree and the ability he shows in the stretch of this race, there's talent here.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get to that stretch run. Here we go right there. And still a little bit green there, laying in past the 8th pole. If he gets focused, and we've seen with this family, they are a little bit goofy at times, he's going to be really good and just good stride out late.
I was just going to say, look at him extend late. That track I thought was playing to speed. One-way traffic got the jump. Enzo did a lot of things right. He also did some things wrong, braking poorly and racing greenly. But I really trust these connections. I trust this pedigree. I also have a feeling Source taking a lot of money.
We got a reported first-time gelding, actually 2 of them in here. We'll touch on them both. The 7 work hard off a little bit of a break here for Gary Capuano.
Kind of a do-over, I think, with this horse, turning back to a sprint for a first start off a little bit of a layoff, but this horse got wired last time out at Delaware and earned a very respectable speed figure. Saved ground, the jock dropped its stick at kind of a key moment in that race in mid-stretch, and Work Hard still ran pretty well, so I wouldn't be surprised if this horse runs well for Gary Cap, and I think a good trip is coming from the outside.
No doubt, I agree. That's a Gary Cap exacted there when I went back and looked. Play hard, work hard. You had to have that one. Half to a 5-time dirt winner in Ring Knocker. Pretty good animal. We've seen that one run before. I'll let you touch upon the 4 a little bit here. Yoshida, you're thinking maybe a little bit of turf, but okay on the dirt, 13% with the dirt sprinters. Desvio, I should say, right?
Desvio.
Desvio, okay, from Madison Myers in Martina Rojas.
I wonder if this is just an experiment here, because you mentioned there's the turf pedigree with the Yoshida on top, but this horse ran well enough and certainly outran his huge odds in the career debut that he deserves a chance on the dirt. He made a nice run from the back of the pack going 3/4 of a mile, but dirt's a different ball game, especially from a pace standpoint many times, and like with Enzo, I'm worried he's going to be outrun early.
Yeah, interesting little ROI there in the daily racing form for you. Turf to dirt, this move is a profitable one for Madison Myers. 336 off a 14-horse sample is half to a horse that was a pretty good front-running type on the main track. Let's turn.
And real quick, let's talk about El Divino Nino.
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
Look who he was in against last time out. That's Grand Opportunity, who we're going to see a little bit later on in the heft. He was probably overmatched that day, going a mile over a sloppy track. His 2 prior sprint races are good, and this horse can show speed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's go to the 4th race. You've got middle pick 4 here, starting in race 4. Also, the Rainbow pick 6 gets kicked off in race 4. We're going to take a look at Callie Francois' ticket. 2160. Everybody can afford that one, I guess, except me. My wife hid the cash again. I can't find it. I got a little bit on the account, so that's a good thing. I got play money today. She doesn't know about that. But anyhow, 2 deep to get you started. 3-4, 3 deep in races 5 and 6. She's got a single in a race number 8.
Great opportunity.
Great opportunity. Okay, I know you like that one as well for Brittany Russell. Going to try to make it 2 for 2 there in the heft stakes. Wrap it up with the 3, 5, and 7. In the last little price 8-1 morning line on Uncle Chinito, 2160 for Callie's Rainbow pick 6 ticket in race 4. A mile and a 16th starter optional here. We've got 3 scratches, unfortunately. The 1, the 6, and the 8. That leaves us with a field of 6. I still think it's a tough race. Race 4, some quality horses, some horses that are proven over a route of ground and have run fast. You lean Fortune's Fool.
How can you not lean on Fortune's Fool, considering the way Lacey Gaudette's been going? Now, I set this stat in before yesterday. Lacey was 8 for 18. Lacey's now 10 for 21 with a 5.53 ROI after sending out 2 more winners yesterday. Her barn is obviously on fire. Fortune's Fool is a rock-solid horse, whether it's on dirt or turf. I'm not sure this guy really loved being down on the inside last time out. Once he got to the outside, he came with a run. In my opinion, this is going to be a jockey's race now with a short and compact field. If fast-breaking Cash breaks better than he did last time, he's making the lead for Ness and J-Rod, and it's going to be up to Joe and Rosado to keep Fortune's Fool close.
That's a great note. You picked up on that. We didn't quite have it in our notes last time out. I've got wasn't quite tied on for the break.
Right.
Fast breaking
I
Cash
saw the same
last
thing.
time. Showed the ability to rate though, but I think today with the scratch of Irish Bulleman, Dulce Vita, you're going to see this 3-horse go to the front. Fortune's Fool was kind of beaten to the punch there last time out when these two faced each other. I go with the 5, Flat Out Flying. I was talking to my buddy Mark Fisher, our chart caller up there at Delaware. We're talking about the card today, and he liked this one, and he kind of woke me up a little bit here. Lynch horse off a little bit of a break, looking how there's a lack of speed. I think this horse can get into position. Has run some big races off the break. Let's look at this. You've got a Lynch stat. I'll let you talk about one off the break, right?
A Lynch 4 for 13.
There it is.
$9.58 ROI off 2 to 4 month layoffs. And
is.
this horse, the last time we saw him, what chance did he have that day? It was a slow-paced race. He was 4 wide all the way around the track, and he was still punching on. And the winner of that race, he's pretty good. He came back to earn an 89 Buyer's speed figure when finishing second in a Parks Allowance race. Now, this guy was listed as a Delaware vet scratch on October the 20th. Now he's got to come off a 2-month layoff. But Lynch, I think, is closing in on 1,000 wins lifetime. As you said, he does well off these layoffs.
I think this horse hits a very good trip. There's the Philly special. Remember that from the Super Bowl with the Eagles. We got the Fisher special today, 4-5-5-4. You're going to roll in there with the 3 fast breaking Cash. We talked about that one. Under the radar.
Under the radar is never under the radar when it comes to finishing third. He's done it 15 times out of 32 starts. I'm hoping maybe he finishes 4th in here. His last race was his first off a bit of a break. I think he's going to be sharper for this. The problem with fast break, under the radar, is no speed. And if this pace is slow, he's really up against it. From the Ness perspective, I think fast breaking Cash just fits this race better.
Yes, agreed. Treasure Trove, this guy, he can jump up on best and beat this field. There's no doubt about it. I'm definitely worried a little bit about the last 2. I chased him last time out. Feeling woozy. I caught that track on the first and said, see you later. That was it. I do think this guy, now it's a little bit smaller field, can find position and maybe make a run from off the pace. Let's head to the 5th. Race 5 at 1.16 miles. We've got 40 claimers. These are the 2-year-olds going around a ground. This race I thought was a little intriguing. We both land on the same horse. A little bit worried the more I dug into the breeding. It's a little bit of a sprinty lean on this top selection for Big Daddy's Boy. We're going to show you a video. What do you think? You think he's going to handle the stretch out today?
Well, I think the way he won this race, yes, because this is a grinding type of run. It's not like this horse has this just burst of speed that he's going to, maybe say that a distance isn't going to work for him, but just look at him just keep grinding and grinding and finding a little more, and he found a little bit more on the gallop as well. I think you're right about the pedigree. The Dam did win at this distance, but it's interesting to note the connections of the other horses out of this Dam very rarely stretch them out, almost as if they feel they can't stretch out. The good news is Jerry Robb does well with these kind of horses. 4 for the last 9, 407 ROI, last out winners, sprinter out. This guy is going to be on or near the lead, and if he stays, he's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think he's to the front in here. Looking at the internal, some of these other horses have run. If he breaks sharp, I think the X-Man is going to try to nurse this guy around the racetrack. The lone 2-time winner, right?
He is the lone 2-time winner. Yeah.
We also like the inside horse, Catalea Strike. I didn't think it ran too bad. Caught with a wide trip last out.
Well, he was in a little bit tough that day, and for the 62.5, he was, as you said, wide in a race where they ran 1-2 all the way around the track, so there wasn't a lot of closing going on. The issue with Catalea Strike is not going to be distance, it's going to be whether he gets the setup, because he doesn't have a lot of early speed, he needs something to run at.
he got that 2 races back when breaking the maiden off the duel there, off of slower start, but things really set up beautifully for him. I think the 3 you have to talk about real quickly, John Robb's other horse in here with Crispin in the dance.
He's a little bit dirtied up because I think that last race, again, it was over an inside speed favoring track. In the dance, got bumped at the break, just never really got close to the lead. I'm willing to give him a mulligan for that performance. I think he's going to be a lot closer to the pace this time around, but I don't think the Robs are going to burn themselves out, and maybe that will allow Big Daddy's boy to get loose.
No doubt about it. In the dance, he's interesting. I think he comes out of the best race, last out race when you're looking at that field. So that's the first 5. We're going to be back, take a little commercial break, take a look at the stakes and the late pick 4.
Thoroughbred racing is taking vital steps to make our sport safer. These include the use of independent veterinarians, strict anti-doping and medication controls, and a single national authority empowered to create uniform standards and enforce reforms. With each step, more data is gathered, accountability demanded, and progress made as safety takes the lead. Visit ntra.com/safety for more.
We are back right now with Dan Oman of Daily Racing Form. Today at the races, glad to have you along. We're going to wrap things up here for our late pick 4. We're just going to start here with race number 6. Scratch the 1, Box of Rockets, maidens, 3, 4, 5-year-olds going 3/4 of a mile. I got a lot of questions and concerns in this race, Dan. I thought this race was a little bit tricky. You're going to land on Super Bourbon for Brittany Russell. I think a lot of horses has some shots in here. We got a stat here for Super Bourbon.
We certainly do, and Brittany does win first out a lot, and she does win second out a lot. But
Yeah.
wow, third out maidens on dirt. 6 for the last 8, $3.86 return on investment, so that's a number I like. I like the fact that Super Bourbon's dropping out of the waiver into this 30. I think that's a significant drop. And the last time this horse ran, sort of down on the inside, I think gained some experience, but the runner-up in that race came back to win with an 82 buyer in a maiden special weight. Super Bourbon just fits this race to a T, has the trainer stat, and more importantly, has enough tactical speed to get on or near the lead. I won't be surprised if this one is sitting first or second when they turn for home. Motivo, Common Prosperity, these are horses coming down from New York. They are going to take some money. There are some questions regarding both.
No doubt. Motivo has definitely improved, I thought, since being gelded 3 races back. Chased a lone speed around there last time. I think it was a 3 to 5 shot.
Yeah.
But I thought kept on pretty well. We're going to see Dutcho here. The only other horse he's run here of recent note was on the turf. I like this one to kind of make a stalking trip and move into the flow. Common Prosperity comes out of a killer race. But, man, red flag here, in for the tag.
In for the tag and coming off of a long layoff. You mentioned the quality of the field this one was in against. 3 next out winners. One of them came back to win in the slot by 19 lengths with a 103 buyer speed figure. It's fair to say Common Prosperity is getting a class drop in here. But when you dig into the trainer stats, Horatio de Paz, 4 for the last 7, $6.10 ROI, second out maidens coming off 6-month layoffs or greater. So this has been an angle for this barn, and Toledo picks up the mount.
Yeah, that's just scary for me, giving this horse away. I mean, good, decent number in debut. And I looked at that. It was a triple key race. We saw Let It Ride come down here, falter on the track, but it had a big race, I think, prior to that, a big number. I think Guapo Ness is interesting. I've got the 5 into the mix. Jamie Ness has got 2 in here. Rojas goes here. Lasix off of a break, but showed pretty good speed as a 2-year-old.
Pretty good speed as a 2-year-old. Would expect to see some fresh speed here. Interesting, though, that J-Rod had his choice of the 2 Ness horses. Went to the first-time starter, Brushback. Ness's numbers are usually great with everything. Recently, however, his horses off 6-month layoffs or greater, not as strong as some of his others. So that gives me a little cause for pause. But Guapo Ness is going to be on or near the lead. And Rojas, I have been very, very impressed with how Martino rates horses up front. She's a very good pace-setting rider.
Agreed. Anybody you want to kind of talk about in here other than 6, 7, 9, 3?
I mean,
Brushback, you want to talk about this Ness first?
Why don't we talk a little?
Unraced mare, Lasix on, I should say. Rodriguez, this is his choice, I guess.
But it's another situation. Here's a horse that sold for $170,000 at auction and is now being entered for $30,000. Is it because Jamie wants to win the trainer title and is trying to take advantage? Perhaps. First-time starters for me in a race where I could always find something with experienced runners, I tend to go with the experienced types.
And Super Bourbon might just be quick enough to run them off the feet. I think we'll have to deal. Might like the draw outside of Guaponess as well, though. Be able to sit just off of that one. I think that horse is going to show sharp speed off the break. Let's go to the 7th. Late pick 3 action. In the 7th, Gin Talking Stakes for the 2-year-old filly. Stakes action starts here. 7/8 on. Scratch the 1 and go, Sherry, go.
I love this matchup between the speedy Carmelina and Cap Classique, who likes to sort of save her speed for the end. Let's watch Carmelina's most recent race. This is the Shamrock Rose at Penn National, and Carmelina just never gives these Pennsylvania breds a chance. She goes right to the front, and she is going to keep widening to the wire. Butch Reed sends down to Laurel, wins races. We saw that with King Kumbale, 5 for the last 16, 336 ROI. Talking to Butch before this race for the DRF Advance, he's always concerned because Carmelina can be a handful in the paddock and handful in the post parade and leading up to the gate. It's something you might want to watch as these horses are being saddled and loaded onto the racetrack, but she's the controlling speed. We'll see if she gets 7.
She certainly looked like it there, the way she went through the wire. And just a steady hand ride, looked very eager, looked focused, outround some other speeds in there. I think she's very, very dangerous on the front end. You've got Sheldon Russell riding against his wife, who's got the 4. Cap Classique.
Cap Classique, I thought, was very, very impressive, winning the Smart Halo here, going 3/4 of a mile. We're going to watch that video right now, and let's just watch Cap Classique. A very professional performance. She runs like an older horse. A lot of times these 2-year-olds, they go right to the front and win. Cap Classique is saving ground in the back down towards the inside, and Toledo is just looking for a way to run. And sometimes these 2-year-olds get discouraged when they get stopped for a second. Not Cap Classique. She finds the inside. She's going to run on very strongly in the final 3/16 of a mile. And unlike Carmelina, I have no concern about Cap Classique getting the 7.
I know I read in your article you had talked to Brittany a little bit about this one, and she says no doubt about it. She's a pro. It saves what she needs, and she brings that finish. Not concerned about the stretch out to 7/8 of a mile. Ronan Goddess, a horse that's had some trouble. I think still, I don't know if we've seen her best race.
I think we haven't seen her best race, but her race 2 starts back was pretty good, where she was kind of had to wait behind horses, and then once she was produced, she exploded to beat Kiss by an Angel, the recent winner of the Maryland Juvenile Filly. Now that race, unfortunately, has been sandwiched in between 2 races where she just hasn't gotten out of the gate at all. So it's all about whether Rowan and Goddess can get out of the gate and then not be compromised by a lack of pace in a short field.
Are we going to forget about Kiss by an Angel? She's just kind of laying around. We've both got her 4th, but man, all she's done is run well, win, and what a great job off the claim for 12.5.
And win at 7 furlongs, which is always nice. This horse has good tactical speed. She got a great trip last time out. No one wanted to lead. They handed it to her. She was able to slow down the pace, and Cruz sprinted on home. That scenario is not available to her here with Carmelina, much faster to the inside, but she has shown the ability to rate in the past, and she'll be a much better price than she was on Maryland Juvenile Filly Day.
You've got Money Grab in the mix coming in here for DePaz. A nice improve last time out, going 7/8 out to a mile. Now drops back a furlong today. This daughter of Munnings, is she a need to lead type? Because if she is, I mean, she's going to have to work for it against Carmelina if Carmelina comes out cleanly.
It's probably too early to pigeonhole her as a need the lead type. I liked what she did last time out, going the 1-turn mile, because she had 2 pace foes. She dispatched them, and she went on to win.
Okay.
Of course, she's odds on that day. She's supposed to go on to win. So this is a pretty big step up in class. But the buyers got to note they're going forward with each and every start.
Definitely are. Some talent there. Some talented 2-year-old fillies. Looking forward to the Gin Talking, and we turn to race 8, the Hef Stakes, for the boys. We've got 1 scratch, 7/8 of a mile. Who are the 1, Mr. Agent. Great opportunity. Can he make it 2 for 2?
We're going to find out. Great opportunity is this hulking son of Connect. He weighs about 1,150 pounds or so. I have that written down. And he made his debut going a 1-turn mile. I think Brittany wanted, because he's such a big horse, to run this horse around the ground. Also, though, tried to get the horse entered, was on the AE list, couldn't have a race to fill. So they ran great opportunity there, and he ran very, very well. It was a solid pace going the 1-turn mile. He ended up winning by the length of the stretch. Brittany said the horse came back tired, but has come back running well. And when you look at this pedigree, it's very versatile. Half to Ethereal Road, stakes-winning dirt router, but also a half to Turned Aside, who's a graded stakes-winning turf sprinter. I think despite cutting back in distance, Sheldon's going to try to get this horse up front if Sweet Saudi J doesn't go.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. And they're going to have some more fun with this horse, it looks like, because he could go either surface. Great opportunity, it looks like, from a breeding standpoint. He was quick. He rolled up there inside last time and set those fractions. Very sharp internals for 2-year-olds going a mile over that sloppy track. Yes, had every right to get a little bit weary late, but did it nicely. It's that little, I've got that, Brittany, the only issue is after winning those debuts, she hasn't had the greatest of luck coming back and capturing that second start, especially in stakes. But this guy looks like he's got plenty of talent. I move outside with Catahoula Moon. We've got video of that most recent race. Really didn't catch any kind of break early, was into a very, very quick pace.
Not only in a very quick pace, but dueling with the favorite speediness. Talk about quick internals. 22.95 opening quarter, 22.71 second quarter, doing all the dirty work on the lead, facing pressure, and he's going to dismiss this favorite at the 3/16 pole and look like going on his way to victory. But Catahoula Moon does not change leads in the stretch, and that enervating pace scenario is just going to take its toll. This time around, Catahoula Moon, I think, is going to rate and finish, and we saw what he could do with that situation in the Maryland Million Nursery. The X-Man jumped off that day and said, boy, he exploded.
Yeah, I like his positioning right here today. I think it's going to give the X-Man a chance to just kind of feel things out that first eighth of a mile, and I think he'll bring a finish. He's a little bit more focused, so hopefully he can get on that correct lead. Talk about Sweet Sadi J. I've got this one in the mix. Again, his better races have been here Mid-Atlantic. He ran very sharp. I did not see that turn of foot coming from him in the James F. Lewis behind Copper Tax. Inveigle came out of that race to run real big down at Gulfstream.
Another horse a little bit green, though, Sweet Sadi J. Didn't change leads in the Lewis. He was involved on the pace, but we've seen horses trained by Ray Ginter, owned by Lynn Cash. They haven't run it well at Oaklawn. They come right back.
Yep.
Double Crown comes
Double
to mind.
Crown
I know
at a
you
nice
like that
place.
horse,
Yes,
and
yes.
Sweet Sadi J is going to try to repeat that angle. I think they're going to send, and American War Hero deserves a mention because turf last time out, Copper Tax 2 starts back, one of the best 2-year-olds in the Mid-Atlantic. Good fit at this level, going to come running late for ground.
It's a sneaky horse right there when you look at it. Greedy tried to get up at 5.5 at debut Delaware. Not a track you can really close a whole lot of ground on. Dismissed the muddy sealed in the turf maybe. That's lurking there at I think at an okay price. And real quick, touch upon Deposition. I thought this horse ran very well last time. A little bit of an in and out barn, but has brought horses here at prices to hit the board in these stakes.
They certainly do, and Deposition, again, stretched out, did it very nicely, just rated off the pace. And again, didn't have maybe the cleanest trip in the world, but was able to overcome as the favorite. That was a weak race, though.
Yeah.
Horses coming out of that race have not come back to run well yet, so Deposition is taking a giant step up in class.
I'm looking for I think he's going to need the flow, to be honest, up front to make that run into it. All right, let's go to the ninth. Our nightcap, we're going to wrap it up. Maiden 12.5 for the 2-year-olds, going 5.5 furlongs. No scratches in here. We're a little bit all over the map. You've got the 5 on top, Mini Spicester.
I had a feeling we were going to be all over the map. I wish I had a stronger opinion in this race. I'm going to be asking the Railbirds who they like before race number 9. Maybe they'll give me something. Mini Spicester is a horse I thought might have been too aggressively ridden last time out. He was really hustled out of there. He tried to push Uncle Chinito, and it didn't work. Turning back in distance for Mini Spicester is going to work, I think. And I think this time, let the other horses go to the front. There's plenty of speed, burning up the dough. Uncle Chinito, Malibu Slew has shown some speed. Maybe Mini Spicester rates and finishes.
And that's kind of like Gabriel 7 that did not wear blinkers last time. That's our mistake. So no blinks on Gabriel 7. But I thought outside to inside made a bold run at the leader, Uncle Chinito, a loose leader there. Just got a little squirrely mid-stretch, but kept on okay to the wire.
Should have won that race probably. Loom boldly, drifted in, swapped leads a couple times, and then a rail skimmer beat him. I think he's getting blinkers on today, though, Gabriel 7.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, blinkers
so
on
I
today.
think that's going to help him focus better. In my opinion, he's the horse to beat.
I do. I think he's going to draft in at a great spot. Burning up the dough might be the speed of the speed. Chinito's going to have to work pressing that one, but did improve nicely last time out. Maybe a long shot to throw in Hammy Smith here late in the year with a bomb with Barbosa, 100 proof. Interesting. Okay family there. A couple of siblings have shown some talent. If this pace should be hot, maybe just good enough to roll by late.
Yeah, half-brother to a stakes-place dirt sprinter named Pink Out. And again, this is a race where maybe this pace collapses. I expect Burning Up the Dough, dropping in class to show speed. It might just be too much for this field. Even ABC from the rail deserves some consideration. This horse was claimed by Diane Marisi. Barn scored with a horse named Winky Wonky up here on December 9th. First off the claim, off a 4-month layoff. Similar angle here.
Late breaking blinkers on for the 1 AB. See ya in the 9th. That's a look at the card. It's a good card. Looking forward to those 2-year-old stakes. It's time now for our best bets and value plays. Let's kick it off. Dan, best bet of the day?
Super Bourbon, race number 6. We talked about the Brittany Angle. This horse is dropping in class, tactical speed. I think Super Bourbon still has a lot of upside. 3-1 is fair, and
Okay.
I think these 2 New York horses will take some money. Maybe we'll get around 3-1.
There you go. My top selection, race 7 in the Gin Talking Stakes. Sheldon might have to sleep outside with the dog. Carmelina, I think, can get it done on the front end here for Butch Reading Company. I think they've got her catch. She's in very good form, and I think she'll handle the stretch out. That's a good little race right there. Value play.
Let's go with That's My Pharaoh, race number 3. Again, Jerry Robb, good numbers going route to sprint, turf to dirt. And That's My Pharaoh's got a little bit of dirt pedigree. Some of the horses in this race have questions from a pace standpoint. I think That's My Pharaoh can stay close despite cutting back in distance.
Yeah, my value play, the price is going to be chopped now with those 3 scratches in race number 4. I'll take Flat Out Flying here at Lynch. You had a great stat off of this type of layoff to get it done. I think you can kind of shadow the leader and get on by late. So there you have it. 9 races, 2 stakes. Dan, glad to have you. We're going to have Dave Robin up with scratches and changes, but, you know, I won't be here tomorrow, so everybody have a happy and safe new year. Glad to have you here. You got any plans for the new year?
Probably gambling.
I like it. We're going to be doing that no matter where we are. 27 minutes until post time. Dave, hit us with those changes and scratches.
Good luck.